I rarely ever leave the nursery, but today I am flying up to Aqualand for the next 2 days to help install the wetland plants I grew for their show ponds. I have never visited before, but I must say the place is very beautiful, with waterfalls, beautiful stone, and water lilies. Beautiful both inside and out. It is the look I want for Holt nurseries. Complete with turtles, multiple koi fish, butterfly koi, standard fin koi, imported directly from Japan. They even have a green iguana. Well, I hear my name being called. It's time to go to work.
You said you filled up this with a little bit of plants, huh?
Yes.
So that entire rider truck is filled with tropical, how many different varieties did we get of tropical plants?
10, 15 varieties.
So all of this stuff is from Tom Holt, Holt's nursery. We were down there. I was falling in love with all the stuff, and he said, let me bring a rider truck over. So we drove back a rider truck from Orlando, filled with tropical plants. It's now finally warm enough. First week of June, the water's got to be 70 degrees for these tropicals. So what we're going to do today is we're going to actually take all the plants out, and then we're going to figure out together where around the entire property we plant the tropicals.
Let's go. It took me 8 hours to get them from the back of the nursery to the front of the nursery, and it took us 2.5 hours to load the truck.
So 10.5 hours.
Wow.
Yes. And then a 20-hour drive.
Three guys. So okay, here we go.
All right, here we go. Whoa! Christmas in June. Look at the size of these lotuses. Wow. So let's just take things out and lay them down. If you get the tree frogs, we're going to try to catch them. We'll find a bucket to put them in. Let's spread some of those pallets out, guys. Put these on the pallets.
This is Colocasia Black Magic.
Is this Sparrow's mask?
No, that's Waikiki.
Waikiki.
That's another Black Magic. That's teacup. So how old are these?
I started everything in January.
Oh my God.
I just love it. I feel like your nursery just arrived in Chicago.
You know, I've been collecting for years. I used to do 18-wheeler after 18-wheeler.
Okay.
Okay, now they're going to start to get big, guys. So this one here is Insette Morelia. It's a great big ornamental banana. They grow them in Longwood Gardens. They get beautiful, 10, 12 feet long by Labor Day.
What will it look like by Christmas?
It will look very brown.
Banana. Holy cow, I have no idea where I'm going to put everything. I love these properties.
So that one right there, that is Alocasia Imperial Red.
Right here. Look at the size of these leaves. That's a tropical for you. That's why this guy came from there.
I was happy to see all of the large tropical plants arrive just fine.
It's from Florida.
Oh my goodness.
I don't know if we should be showing that or not.
Yeah, well, we have to find a place for him because this would not survive the winter. So we're going to have to find a place in Aqualand for this cute little guy.
This pallet is filled with both pickerel weed and iris for the wetland filter.
The king of the pond, the Victorias. Look at the thorns on these things. So these will be giant 5-foot pads. What kind of Victoria is this?
Victoria Cruziana.
So you can see how the leaves open up. You can see already a bloom coming up. It only blooms for like 2 days. But look at how incredible this is. So we're going to definitely repot these in bigger pots.
Yep.
Let's actually show how we repot a Victoria water lily properly.
So the first thing we did is we put about 6 inches of soil in the bottom. And the reason we did that is because, see, we got the drainage holes here. And we want the fertilizer is for the plants, the fertilizer is not for the ponds. So instead of putting it directly on the bottom, we put about 6 inches of soil in the pot next.
Just look at the size of this pot. This is what a Victoria needs. A tropical needs one about half this size and about 1/3 of this size for a hardy, but you still need bigger pots than the 1 gallons that you're growing them in, right?
That's correct.
And most people keep them in the 1 gallon pots and they become anemic.
So this is 100-day fertilizer. And then we're going to blend it with 180-day fertilizer. 1.5 pounds.
More soil.
More soil.
Hey, Thomas,
Yes.
you do know that I set a Guinness Book of World Record weightlifting underwater.
Oh, that's good.
Did you know that?
I did not.
Well, Sal, that's why I can lift that.
Okay, guys, we're ready for the plant. I bought them in 6-inch pots, then I grow them out in 14-inch pots, and now we're putting it in the 24-inch pot. Okay, Greg, so we just need enough fertilizer to come
Soil.
soil. Do as I think, not as I say. Hey, look at this. See how this leaf is all yellow? So this grew in the dark. So when did we loaded this up on Tuesday? So Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. This leaf is only 3 days old.
And it grows in the dark, that's why it's yellow?
Yes.
Okay. So it'll green back up, right?
Yes. Okay, we got this beautiful soil here from Illinois. We got the fertilizer in here. So these were grown from, these are grown from seed. The seeds are started every December, January. And this plant, the individual leaves can get the size of trash cans or bigger than trash cans. And they can get maybe a 20-foot spread. And they grow faster than corn.
This is to keep the koi from nibbling on the roots. And just to add a little bit more weight to make it that much more of a challenge.
How much do you think that weighs?
200 pounds? What do you think?
I can get some enough on the other half. You want to try with it? 200 pounds.
All right, let's take it over and
Okay.
plant it.
We have repotted all of the tropical lilies in either 15-gallon or 25-gallon nursery containers. Greg had the honors of placing many of them into the pond. This is one of the 2 wetland filters we added pond plants to. We decided to leave both the bananas and the alocasias in the pots, and then we later installed the iris and pickerelweed directly into the gravel. After we finished the wetland filters, we planted additional aquatic plants around the pond.
This plant's going right here, right? We're dropping it straight down?
After the installation is completed, both Deborah and I met up with Ed to discuss the European rec pond they will be building at Holt Nurseries in January.
Hey Ed, thanks for having us here. I'm so glad that you're going to be doing that awesome ponding for us. So you want to explain how it's going to look like?
Absolutely, of course. So it's a pleasure, obviously. I love designing and building different types of water features. From what Greg told me, and again, we may change this once I get on site, but he said kind of a European style recreational pond. So formal lines, but heavy vegetation, which obviously you have the ability to do all of that. So this is a really good example because this is very contemporary. I'm not thinking of using this type of block wall inside of yours. I'd like to actually do something a little bit more natural, maybe cypress or a wood element of some sort, which I think would look really well, and it is very traditional for that style of water feature. But they still function the same. So the beauty of the system is we have a waterproof membrane. At one end we have a pumping system. The pump is going to draw all the water through. We have to have a specific turnover rate that's inside of the feature. That actually is a function of the different types of fish you may have. So here we have koi. You're talking tropical fish.
Or maybe some catfish, depending
that throws things off. Exactly. So there's one thing, to me tropical fish means little things, but they could be arapaima. They could be giant Amazonian fish.
And that's what my husband loves.
So we may need to increase the filtration to handle that. The beauty of it is the filtration system is modular. So once I set up the pumping system, we're going to recirculate the water. We discharge the water into an upflow biological filter. This type of filtration system has been used for eons, basically, to remove nitrogen from the water, from fish waste, from animal waste, and things like that. That's actually the problem for all types of water quality issues. So if we can manage that, it's perfect. The nice thing about biological filtration is it's not a man-made system. We're basically creating a home for microorganisms. The microorganisms do the job for us. So what I need to do is slow the water down. We have a sedimentation chamber down on the bottom, so all the fine sediments will drop out of suspension. You could periodically remove them. The other thing about that from a sedimentation standpoint is if it clogs up the filter bed, you've probably seen this on a dirty filter, you squeeze that stuff out, and the sludge comes out, the nitrification process is inhibited. So if I can get that sediment out before it actually hits the filter, now instead of weekly or monthly cleaning, you can go once a year, which I think would be huge.
I love that. Save me time.
Low maintenance, low maintenance. So sedimentation chamber on the bottom, different layers of river rock. We're going to plant it all up hydroponically. I usually plant things bare root inside of them as much as possible, especially in a new system, because I want them to force feed on the nutrients that are actually in the water. And then they will clean the water. Periodic harvesting of those different types of plants will actually is a nutrient export system. It'll remove those nutrients from the system. The only challenge that we have, especially in Florida, your warmer water holds less dissolved oxygen. So we need to have aeration. Like here we have those little bowls and things. We have to hyperoxygenate the water because all those microorganisms are aerobic. And if we don't have enough oxygen,
that's not going to be good for
the fish are not going to be happy, and the microorganisms are not going to be happy either, and then the whole system crashes.
And we want an ecosystem that works. So.
That's our goal, and we will have clean, clear water just like this. The viewing window that we have here.
I would love to have that feature. That would be awesome if we can have that feature in there.
I think it would be pretty spectacular. I think we can make it work.
Thank you, Ed. Appreciate it.
All right, it's a pleasure. You're very welcome.
That looks unbelievable. will see you next week, and don't forget to like and subscribe.